Hello and welcome to episode 114, I believe, of the Giddy Knits podcast. As always, I am Helen and I am coming to you from Dundee in Scotland, where I live with my two boys, Arthur, who is 8, and Jasper, who is 5, and also my husband, Tom, who usually gets mentioned before the boys, but somehow it went wrong. Today is Monday, the 21st of February. And as always, this is my crafting podcast. So welcome back if you're a regular viewer. If you are new and checking out the channel for the first time, then I am the dyer behind Giddy Yarns. And as I said, this is a crafting podcast where I tend to talk about whatever projects I've been working on, whether that is the majority of knitting, occasionally some crochet, and occasionally a few other little bits and pieces. So yeah. What have I got for you this week? So to start off with, I will have a little announcement section where I talk about what make-alongs we've got running at the moment. I have a finished object to share. I've also got some work in progresses I'm going to talk about, as well as some new cast-ons. I've got a fair bit of Yarny Goodness as well this week, and then I'll finish up at the end with a little shop news section. I'm recording later in the day. I also have Jasper at home because he has COVID. We have avoided it for 2 entire years. And yeah, our next door neighbour's little girl who is in his class at school got it, and they were apparently playing together on the Tuesday, and then she tested positive on the Wednesday evening. So unsurprisingly, Saturday morning, Jasper tested positive. But oh well, he's fine. He had a bit of a temperature over the weekend, but he's pretty much back to normal. He's had a little bit of a temperature come back this afternoon, but nothing too concerning. Just Calpol has fixed it, basically. So yeah, the rest of us are currently testing daily, and we're all currently testing negative. Arthur's gone to school today because he's testing negative. So yeah, fingers crossed we stay negative, and we'll see what happens. But anyway, so if there are any interruptions or background noise or anything like that, that is why, because Jasper is home. Tom is also currently home because he's on strike today and tomorrow, I think, and then he's back at work on Wednesday, assuming he's still testing negative. Yeah, it's all fun and games here at the moment, all a little bit all over the place. Right. I also didn't bring a drink up with me, which wasn't very sensible, but oh well. Let's just get straight into announcements, shall we? Before I get interrupted. We have 2 make-alongs currently running. We have the Giddy Yarns make-along, which is my ongoing make-along, where I draw quarterly prizes, and as long as your project uses at least 50% of my yarn, of Giddy Yarns, then it's eligible to be entered. You can check out in the drop-down box underneath the video all the places that you can enter, as well as links, I think, to where you can find those places. But you can enter in our Ravelry group, you can enter in our Mighty Networks group, and you can also enter on Instagram. The next prize draw will be at the end of March because it's quarterly. And we also have our mini make-along for the mini month of February. Anything that uses 20 grams or less per colour. I can never explain this very well, but basically the idea is that you use up mini skeins or scraps in projects. It could be a big project as long as you use less than 20 grams per colour, or it could be a little project. Again, all the details should be down below underneath the video, and that one is running until the end of February, so you have exactly 1 week from today to get your project finished. I am doing terribly with mine, but oh well. And I will be doing prize draws, not in the next episode, because the next episode will be on the 28th of February, but the week after that. And yeah, I still haven't worked out what prizes are going to be. Or did I mention prizes before? I don't know. I'll find some prizes. It'll be fine. Should we move on to some knitting? Because I have a finished object. So I finished a pair of socks. I can't even remember if I had started working on these last week. I had. Well, it wasn't last week, was it? It's been 2 weeks. But anyway, I finished my poinsettia socks. So these, I knit relatively short, kind of shorty socks with these. and it's using my Poinsettia self-striping colourway, which was a Christmas 2021 colourway. It will be back again this Christmas because it was really, really popular. And I used one of the 70-gram sock set versions. I didn't do contrast cuffs or contrast toes, but I did put in the contrast heel. I used up pretty much every scrap of yarn. I had maybe 2 or 3 stripes left at the end. I was starting to worry that I had not quite measured it properly and that I was going to run out of yarn. But yeah, I had about 2 or 3 stripes left at the end. So if you're ever questioning how much you can get out of a 50 gram plus 20 gram sock set, I knit these, I've got size 6 UK feet, and I knit these using a 70 gram sock set without putting in contrast cuff, contrast toe. Normally, if you're knitting with a 70 gram sock set, I'd recommend at least putting in a contrast heel and toe to make the most of the yarn. You can get even longer socks if you put in a contrast cuff as well. But I didn't do that for some unknown reason. I decided to just risk it, and I did. But there we go. I got a nice little pair of slightly short, kind of ankle socks almost. But I'm really, really pleased with really pleased with them. Really pleased to have some socks finished. And they will get tucked away in my box of socks ready for December, after I have taken some photos so that I can use it for the shop next year as well. I'm going to sneeze. Okay. Inevitable that I am going to test positive at some point in the next week, isn't it? Every time I sneeze or cough or anything like that, I keep thinking, but so far my tests are all coming back negative, so we will see. The vaccinations are obviously doing their job. Works in progress. Let's move on to works in progress, shall we? I have a few works in progress that I was going to talk about. So let's have a little look. My tinsel mitts that I'd started, I haven't got massively far with these, but I started these as mittens for the kids, and I have finished one mitten. So here is Jasper's little mitten, and I did the convertible top bit. So it's got a little convertible top that flips over, so it can either be fingerless mittens or proper mittens. And this fits him absolutely perfectly. He's nagging me desperately to get the second one started and finished, which I haven't done yet because I am terrible at knitting for other people. But yeah, I'm really pleased with how it came out. I'm really pleased with the colourway, and I'm really pleased with the fit. So I'm using this yarn, which is a 3rd Volt Yarns colourway. It's an MCN base, which I'm going to regret when I come to wash these because I'm probably going to felt them horrendously. But anyway, he loves them and it's fine. He picked the colourway out. This has been in my stash for quite a while, so I didn't mind using it. But yeah, the colourway is Vulcan High Command from 3rd Volt Yarns. It's gorgeous. So I really need to get the second one of those cast on. I mean, it's one of those things that's only really a couple of evenings worth of work and it will be finished. But I always get distracted by other things. And I've got the yarn caked up ready for Arthur's mittens because he wants a pair of the same. And that's, I showed this before, I'm going to be using Bumbling Yarns in the Earth Day colourway. It's the Tinsel Mitts, which is a pattern by Andrea Mowry, I believe. Did I write that down last week? Yes, I did, by Andrea Mowry. There we go, I got it right. What was I going to say? It's a DK weight yarn. That's what I was trying to say. So that is one work in progress that I'm really hoping to pick up again this week. I'm going to shove it on the bed behind me. And then the other thing I have picked up, which order shall I do these in? Decisions. Let's start with the one that's had slightly less progress on. So I did pick up my colour therapy blanket in my lovely dodgy bag from Ali at Little Drops of Wonderful, and she sent me one of her pins with this as well. So I've got, that's upside down, isn't it? There we go. You are a little drop of wonderful. So this is my colour therapy blanket, which I shared, I think, last week. And oh, how ridiculously close am I? I could have just sat before I sat down and recorded. How ridiculously close am I to finishing that square? Why have I not finished that square? That's so stupid. But yeah, I'm on the next block. So I've managed to get, I'm going to say I've got 4 squares finished. I'm literally going to, when I finished recording, I'm going to sit and finish that square in about 2 minutes. But I can't believe I didn't finish that off. So I've got, yeah, 4 of the 9 for this block. You'll know if you've watched regularly, I'm making a Stitch in Time blanket, which is a pattern by Kay Jones, and I'm using the Colour Therapy Club from Henny Penny Makes. So this is the teal turquoise month, and yeah, I've gone on to order the 2nd year of her club because I want to make a bigger blanket overall. And as with everything, I just need to keep working on it. I just need to find the time and make the time for it. But I've really enjoyed picking this back up again this week, actually. And hopefully I will get, I'd like to get this square finished by the end of the month. So I need to kind of pick it up a little bit more often. The one thing I have worked quite a lot on this month, actually, is my armour sweater. I'd like to get this finished for East Anglia at the end of March because I am vending at East Anglia Yarn Show at the end of March, and this will make a really good sample to wear because I will have these colours with me. But I have finally separated for the sleeves. Let's see, try and get this all the right way up. So yeah, last time I recorded, I was just where this little stitch marker is. So I've added a good kind of 3 to 4 inches, but I have separated for the sleeves and I am now at the point of the body where it is just knit, 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 knit. Now, according to the pattern, at this point, I should change to the contrast colour. But honestly, looking at the pictures in the pattern, the picture in the pattern, actually, let me see if I can show you. The picture in the pattern had, let me see, there's a page with just pictures, so I won't be showing anything off. So the picture in the pattern, if you can see there, had quite a lot more of the main colour before you change to the contrast. So it might just be to do with the size that I'm knitting. But I think I want to knit more before I change colour. So I'm going to do double this. I'm going to do double the amount that I've already got there. And then I'll have another look at it, see the length that I've got to, and then decide if I add the contrast there or if I want more of the dark green. Basically, I think that's what I want. I want more of the dark green and then a lesser chunk of the of this one. I'm using my yarn. So this is Deep in the Woods and this is Granny Smith. So yeah, I just want more of the Deep in the Woods and then a smaller chunk of the Granny Smith at the bottom. So we'll see how I get on. I mean, at the moment, I've used one full skein of Deep in the Woods, and then I've also started these 2 skeins. Yeah, so that's what I've got left of the first skein of Deep in the Woods. And then this is, I'm kind of at about, I don't know, I've not weighed these. I'd say I've used at least 50 grams, possibly 60 grams or so of each of these. And then I've got 1 skein of the contrast, which should be enough because I'm only doing kind of the end of the sleeves and the end of the body with this. But I probably will need another skein of this for the sleeves. So I think what I'm tempted to do, what I'm tempted to do is knit the body a little bit longer and use up some more of this and then just grab another skein to do the sleeves. Because actually that'll be what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 skeins of DK for a sweater, which isn't actually too bad for, I think I'm knitting the extra large. So yeah, I don't know. That's my plan, I think. I'm definitely going to double what I've done so far and then I'm going to see how I feel about it. But I do love, check which is the front and which is the back, that's the front. I do love the colours, and I'm really excited to kind of see what I do. I can't decide if I want to have it cropped. I mean, the pattern is for it cropped, but I don't know if I want it as cropped as the pattern or whether I want to do it a little bit longer. I probably want to do it a little bit longer. And I also haven't decided whether I want to do short sleeves or long sleeves. So yeah, I need to make all these decisions. What I need to do as well at some point is put it onto waste yarn and try it on and see how it's looking. But I'm getting there. I'm now on just round and round and round, which is nice because it's mindless and I can do it in front of the TV, or I can do it reading a book, or I can do it easily. So yeah, that's everything I've kind of worked on. I've worked a little bit on my Yuletide socks, but I've only done about one more pattern repeat on that, so I didn't think it was worth sharing those. And I picked up my Mild Mayhem blanket the other day because I was we were playing Dungeons and Dragons, and I wanted something really easy and mindless to work on while we were doing that. But I haven't even finished a square. So again, I've not brought that up to show you this week because there wasn't enough progress really. I do have though some new cast-ons because that seems to be a thing at the moment. I am embracing the idea, or trying to embrace the idea of casting on more samples for the shop without worrying too much about having lots of works in progress. Basically, it's an occupational hazard, I think, having lots of works in progress, because you want to show people how yarn knits up and things like that. So let's do, oh my goodness me, I've got 3 pairs of socks in one bag and they've all got a little bit tangled up. Right, let's just untangle that slightly. There we go. Right, okay. So first of all, I have got Tom's sock for February. I am dyeing up a colour of the month each month, inspired by the Wombo art app. I've talked about it before, and I shared in last week's episode the colourway all caked up, ready to cast on for Tom's socks. Because yeah, if you're new, I'm knitting him a sock each month, and he's going to have a set of odd socks hopefully by the end of the year. So I've taken one of the 70-gram sock sets and I'm just knitting him a sock out of it. So here is the February colour of the month colour. I absolutely love how this is knit up. I got to an annoying stopping point because I took it with me when I went down to Unravel last weekend, but I hadn't actually dyed up the mini or the contrast for the heels. So I was on the train on the way back and I was knitting on this, and then I had to put it down because I got to the point where I needed to put a heel in, but I didn't have the mini with me, because I want to try and make them all matching. So this is the January one. Because I want to try and make them all matching, I needed to have the contrast for the heel and the toe. But as you can see, I've got to the point where I need to put the heel in, but I didn't have the contrast. But I do have the contrast now, so I have it somewhere. Here it is. I went with a nice blue for the contrast, because I thought that would pick out those blue speckles really nicely. So I'm going to cake this up, and then I can get the heel in that and get this finished hopefully for Tom. But I've got enough for photographs anyway. I will share the colour of the month all skeined up a little bit later on because I do have it ready to share with you, because it will be going into the shop at the end of the month, or at the end of the week actually. But yeah, I'm really pleased with how this colourway knits up. I really, really enjoyed it. And yeah, another sock in progress for Tom, which is brilliant. Then I cast on another little sample sock for me. And I will pop a timestamp on the screen shortly, because this is actually the January Beatrix Potter Club colourway. So if you've got the 3-month and you haven't had yours yet and you don't want to be spoiled, then skip to the time that I put on the screen now. But if you're happy to see it, then I can share it. So I'm just going to knit myself some shorty socks, and out of the Beatrix Potter Club each month, and I just wanted to do it so that I've got a little bit of something I can share when I do the reveals and stuff like that. But I'm really enjoying it. So here is where I am. This is the colourway. And I've just knit a short leg. So I tended to do, I think I did like 12 rows of rib and then 10 rows of normal 10 rows of leg basically, and then I've popped in a German short row heel, and then I'll just carry on down the foot. If you do a heel flap and gusset, you can usually get away with going straight from the rib into the heel for a shorty sock, but because I do a short row heel, I find it's not long enough in the leg, and it just slips underneath my heel all the time, so I tend to do kind of 10 rows before I start the heel, just to give it a little bit of extra length there. But I'm really pleased with this colourway. I really like how it's knit up. It really screams Peter Rabbit to me. So yeah, and that is it all caked up as well. I do have I did split the 50 grams into two 25 grams with the intention of doing these two at a time, but I just haven't yet cast on the second one. So at some point I'll do that. I mean, I might not do them concurrently. I might just keep them in my little whips basket. But it's quite nice to have little things to work on when you've just got 5 minutes. I also cast on another pair of socks, but this isn't a sample. But if you remember, at some point, I can't even remember if it was this year or last year, I finished this sock. This is the Witcher colourway, so toss a coin to your Witcher, self-striping colourway from Debbie at Down Sheepy Lane. And I absolutely love it. I bought a 70 gram sock set in the self-striping from Debbie, which was 50 grams of the toss a coin to your Witcher and 20 grams of this coal colourway. And I'm just knitting a pair of socks, obviously. So with this one, I did do a short contrast cuff, a contrast heel and a contrast toe. So I should be able to get a decent amount out of the sock set. And I've cast on the second sock. At the moment, all I've really done is the cuff, and I'm just starting on the second stripe, as you can see. But again, more round and round, nice and easy, relaxing knitting, which is what I'm needing at the moment, to be completely honest. Yeah, I do have one other cast on, but I can't share it with you. I cast on a fuss-free festival shawl for a sample that I can't really share with you. And I'm not even sure I can really say what it's for at this moment, but you'll find out in March. Let's just go with that. So you've not got long to wait. You will find out, I think, on the 1st of March, what it's for. And then I'll be able to share it with you. But I'm loving it. And it's a really simple pattern, really easy pattern. It's a pattern by Louise Tilbrook. And it was designed originally because it's only, the entire pattern is all of like, I think it's basically a 2-row repeat that goes all the way through. And when it was originally designed, it was printed on a business card, so people could pick it up at yarn festivals with a skein of yarn that they fell in love with, and they could cast it on, and it was nice and easy. You didn't need a complicated pattern. So it's a really, really nice, simple kind of garter stitch shawl pattern, one skein. Yeah, but I can't share it with you. So I will share it, hopefully, well, it probably won't even be next week, but a couple of weeks' time, I will share that one with you and the colourway and everything. Right, let's move on to some yarny goodness. So I was at Unravel Yarn Festival this weekend just gone. I was there helping Jem, who is the little grey girl, on her stall, and I had no intentions of buying any yarn while I was there. I was going to be very good. And then I bought yarn, because that happens, doesn't it? I had a chance on the Sunday to go and have a little look around with some friends of mine, and there were a few things that I just couldn't resist. So first of all, I picked up this gorgeous skein from Ishrat at why can I never say it? From Ishrat at Fruitful Fusion. And isn't it stunning? This is her painting colourway. It's a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, fingering weight yarn, and isn't it stunning? In fact, but 2 of the skeins of yarn I picked up are on this base, which it's a new base, and it's like a hybrid between a normal kind of merino nylon sock yarn, the platinum sock, which a lot of dyers use, which is what I primarily dye, and also the high twist sock. So it's almost like a half twist sock, and it's lovely. I actually bought a kilo from the company that I get my undyed yarn from. I bought a kilo of this base just to try it out for myself and see what it's like, because it is absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, an interesting yarn base. I don't know if you can see there, it's kind of high twist, but it's not high twist. It's like a medium twist. It's really, really soft and lovely. I have absolutely no idea what this is going to become, but it is gorgeous, and I absolutely love it. As I said, it is from Ishrat at Fruitful Fusion, if my camera will focus, and it is her painting colourway. There we go. And it was so lovely to finally meet Ishrat in person. We've chatted on Instagram and things like that over the last few years, and we've never actually met. So we finally got to actually meet in person, which was amazing. And then the other skein of yarn I picked up was one that this was just screaming at me through the whole show, because Georgie of the Fibre Fox was on the stall next to us. And she had this gorgeous colourway on her stall all weekend, and it kept screaming at me. This is her Winter Solstice colourway. Isn't it beautiful? It's just stunning. Again, I have absolutely no idea what this is going to become, but I just had to have it. It was so, so pretty. And again, it's that same yarn base that I was talking about, this kind of half twist, medium twist yarn base, so it'll be really interesting to work with and see what I think. I then had a wander around, as I did, and I came across Dragon Hill Studios, who I'm sure many of you know as a self-striping dyer, and I've never knit with any of their yarn, so I couldn't resist picking up a cake of the, I think this is their colour wheel colourway, which is obviously just kind of a rainbow, and I got it on Sparkle because I just can't resist sparkly rainbow socks. So yeah, that's the one I picked up. And then I also came away from the weekend with another one of theirs. However, I didn't actually purchase this one. This one was given to me by Jem because she was a member of their yarn club last year, I believe, but she's not a fan of Sparkle yarn, and this was one of the colourways as part of the yarn club. This was their Frosty Morning colourway, and as you can see, it's kind of a grey and turquoise stripe. And yeah, she's not a fan of Sparkle yarn, so she wondered if I wanted it, and how can I resist? So I have 2 nice self-striping colourways from Dragon Hill Studios to have a go with, and I'm excited to knit with their yarn. I've seen some lovely things from their yarn. And then that was all the yarn I purchased, or came home with me without me having to purchase. However, I did pick up a couple of other things. I picked up a little bit of fibre because I just fell in love with this colourway. And I have started the second bobbin of my spinning, and again, really enjoyed doing it. So now that it's started, I'll be able to pick it up again a bit more often. And I don't know why it took me so long to start the second bobbin, because actually it really was so easy to do it. I just had to look the video up, and yeah, I started that this weekend. But I picked up this gorgeous fibre from Cat and Sparrow. Hand-dyed fibre from Cat and Sparrow. Isn't this stunning? I just thought this was so beautiful. And it's something I don't have. I mostly have merino fibres. But this is alpaca, sea cell and silk. So I thought, do you know what? I'm just going to get that. And then we'll just see how we get on. And yeah, it won't get used for quite a while because I've got other simpler bases to use before I can use this one. But we'll see. It would be nice to have some slightly different options, basically. Once I've got the hang of the merino spinning, I've got something more interesting to try. I think that's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, absolutely gorgeous, and I love this colour so much. The colour is called Zen Garden. She had a large number of kind of different types of fibre, which was really interesting to see. I also picked up, although while we're on the topic of fibre, again, not something I purchased, but something I came away from the show with, the lovely Laura of The Lonely Knitter, Bumbling Yarns, Crafters Balm, East Anglia Yarn Fest, has been trying her hand at dyeing fibre and making, well, dyeing fibre and also making bats and rolags and things like that. And she brought with her some of her creations for the spinners that she's friends with to give a go. So I got these beautiful rolags from her. Aren't they stunning? I'm so excited to try this. I don't own anything in the way of rolags at all. But yeah, it's going to be fun to give another method of spinning or managing fibre or something like that. I don't know. Terminology is never my strong suit. Be another fun chance to give that a go. So thank you very much, Laura. They are gorgeous. And then what else? What else? Two other things. Well, technically three. I've also picked up a couple of pom-poms from the Crafty Bird. Because although I have purchased from them online before, I couldn't resist seeing the pom-poms in person. I don't even know if I have yarn that these will go with, but if I don't, I can dye some and it's fine. Arthur desperately wants this pom-pom. He is adamant that he wants me to knit him a hat so that he can have this pom-pom on top of it. I'm not sure I can part with it. And Jasper is also saying, well, if Arthur gets that one, I want this one. So it looks like I might be knitting hats for the boys to have pom-poms on top of. Yeah, but they're gorgeous, aren't they? They're just so fun and fluffy and lovely. And then the last thing that I purchased is not yarn, but is a pair of earrings. Because I have never had any of the jewellery by Soraya. Maliqua, is that how you pronounce it? I never know how you pronounce it, but Soraya's lovely handmade jewellery, which she knits. Oh, these ones are crocheted, hand crocheted earrings with the gorgeous jewels, the crystals on. Aren't they beautiful? And I got the stud versions because I do tend to prefer stud earrings rather than kind of danglia style ones nowadays, so I thought the studs would be good. And I am very, very tempted to get in touch with her and see if she'll do me some custom ones with my yarn, because she does do that. She does offer them with, if you send her some yarn, she'll make them with the yarn as well. So I'm very, very tempted to do that. But yeah, I'm going to pop those away nice and safe, and I will be wearing those at a point in the future when I get to wear nice earrings. Yeah, I'm not sure they're ones that I could just leave in and wear all the time, like I tend to with my studs, but for nice occasions, which hopefully will become more often now that things are easing slightly. We'll see, won't we? But that's everything. That is all of the Yarny Goodness that I managed to come home with, which, considering I had no intentions of purchasing any yarn or anything while I was there, I knew I wanted to get some pom-poms. I knew I wanted to get some earrings, and I also picked up a crochet hook, which I haven't shown you because it was just a 4mm clover crochet hook, because that's, you know, so exciting. I knew they were the kinds of things that I wanted to get. Oh, I also picked up, well, again, I came home with this as opposed to purchased it, but I also got this lovely triangle bag from Jem at The Little Grey Girl, because I'd picked it up to start knitting her self-striping swatches on her stall, and I was using this at the time, and I didn't steal it. That sounds like I stole it, didn't I? She let me have it. But she's going to have this fabric at East Anglia. She's vending at East Anglia as well, and she's going to have some more of this gorgeous space fabric at East Anglia as well. So I said, well, that's fine, because when I'm knitting my samples on my stall at East Anglia, I will use this bag, and if anyone asks me about it, I can send them to her. I'm advertising for her while I'm knitting, basically. Okay, that is, I think that is everything. What else was I going to talk about? Shop news. Last off, a little bit of shop news. So clubs for March are in the shop now. So that is the March instalment of the Middle Earth Minis Club, which is the final Hobbit instalment. And also the March instalment of the Beatrix Potter Club, which is inspired by The Tale of Tom Kitten. And then, so they'll be open until the 7th of March. The February clubs will be shipping out, hopefully, at the end of this week. Hopefully, assuming that I don't come down with COVID, seeing as my child currently has it, then they will hopefully be shipping at the end of this week. There may be a slight delay if I have too many interruptions from small children at home. Yeah, they're all died. They were all died last week. I'm just in the process of scanning and packing, and that takes quite a lot of work. That takes longer than the dyeing, surprisingly. But anyway, so hopefully the February ones will be out by the end of this week. Fingers crossed. What else? Easter treat boxes. When is Easter? I know I said this to myself. I said I will look up when Easter is. It's in April. It is April the... Okay, so it's the week of the 16th, 17th. That's Easter weekend. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to say. So basically, Easter treat boxes will be going on sale this week. Possibly they might already be up by the time you're seeing this. I'm hoping to put them up today. And they will be open for pre-order until the 7th of March. And then I'll be dyeing those, and they will be shipped out by the 4th of April, which gives us a good nearly 2 weeks, or a good week and a half, for them to get everywhere. They'll go out first class, I would imagine. Usually they go out first class. They'll go out first class. So if you're in the UK, they will definitely reach you by Easter. If you're not in the UK, then they probably won't quite reach you on time. But I've got East Anglia at the end of March, so I can't really guarantee getting them out any sooner than that. But it will be, in fact, I will sit to the side and I will pop a picture up just there of the image that I'm using for the treat boxes for Easter. And each box will contain a 120 gram sock set, and which you can choose across any of my yarn bases, as always. They will also contain a hot chocolate sachet and a little Eastery sweet treat. They will contain a progress keeper that I will be making, and they will also contain tea light candles, some Yankee tea light candles as well, as I always tend to do. If you have any major dietary requirements, then get in touch, because I do try and offer kind of a replacement if you can't have the things that I tend to put in the box. So get in touch and I will see what I can do about sourcing alternatives if you need them. But yeah, they will be already up, and they'll be open until the 7th of March. Yeah, rambling. Right, last thing. Friday the 25th of February, this Friday, I will be having a shop update. It will feature the February colour of the month, which is here. I will pop up, actually, while I'm holding this up, I will pop the image, February's image up on the screen so you can see as well. But it will be available in both 120 gram sock sets, 70 gram sock sets, and I'm also going to have it available in just 100 gram skeins as well. So yeah, that is the February colour of the month, which I'm really, really pleased with. And as with the colour of the month, it will be going into the shop on Friday. Once it's sold out, that's it. But I am dyeing more this month than I dyed last month because it was popular last month. So hopefully it will be popular again this month, because otherwise I've dyed more and I'm going to be stuck with it. Anyway, I'm rambling again. The other thing that I'm going to be popping up in the shop is any club spares from January. So that will be whatever I've got left over from the Beatrix Potter Club, and also whatever I've got left over from the Middle Earth Minis Club from January. They will be going in the shop. I'm going to be doing them with the image that you'll see on the website will be a black and white image, and then when you click through to the post you'll be able to see the colour images. Again, just because I know there's people out there who've ordered the 3 months and I don't want to accidentally spoil it by having a sudden image on my website. But if you click through to the actual listing on my website, you'll be able to see it all in colour. I think that's everything. Yes, I think that's everything. Right. Jasper is now downstairs on his own because Tom has gone to pick up Arthur from school, and I need to get this edited and uploaded and all of that chaos, so I had better go. Wish me luck for the week ahead, and yeah, hopefully we won't all come down with COVID by the time the week has ended. We will see. But yeah, he's doing fine. Nothing to worry about, just one of those things. And I will see you all again next week, where we will probably have 2 videos, because it will be the podcast and also my monthly roundup video, because next week is the last day of February. Right. Goodbye. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.